Bonjour et bienvenue. Welcome to ChangeNOW and to another exciting pitching session, this time on the topic of food and agriculture. Quick show of hands, who has in the past or is currently at least partly growing their own food? Who's got a garden? Okay. Couple of hands up here. Well, I'm asking this question because our relationship to food as modern human beings is mostly reduced to picking them up from supermarket shelves. We don't spend much thought on how we grow our food and how we can do that at scale and what it does to the planet. So for the next 1 hour, you're going to hear 10 pitches of exciting initiatives, ventures, and ideas how to make sure that our food and agriculture system is within planetary boundaries and fit for the future. We're going to do this in 5 pitches per round, followed by a Q&A, each pitch 3 minutes, and I'm going to ask them on stage one by one. But before we do that, a quick shout out to the partner of this session, World Living Soils, represented by Sandrine, who I'm going to ask up on stage for just a moment to introduce yourself. I don't see her right now. Oh, there she is. Sandrine, please join me on stage. Thank you very much for being with us.
Hello, everyone. I'm super happy to be here. I'm Sandrine Sommer. I'm Chief Sustainability Officer at Moët Hennessy. Moët Hennessy is a wine and spirit activity from LVMH. And as you can imagine, our products are coming from soils. So it's very important for us to implement regenerative practice in our vineyard. And in order to scale up these practices and in order to scale up the regeneration of soils, we have decided to create a dedicated forum, the World Living Soils Forum. And last year, it was the 2nd edition, and we co-organized this World Living Soils Forum with ChangeNOW. And thanks to ChangeNOW, we started to launch some awards for solutions, for startup regarding regenerative practice. So we are fully happy and supportive of the innovation. We are convinced, thanks to innovation, we can go further. And we are very happy to be partner of this session. And on top of that, we have some our people, members of the juries, in order to evaluate all the pitches. So have a nice pitch for this session. And again, super happy to be here. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, Sandrine, and thank you very much for your support. Before we jump to the pitches, I'd also love to introduce our esteemed jury and give each of you maybe 20 seconds to very quickly say who you are and who you represent, starting on my right. Please.
1, 2, c'est bon, ça marche. Hi everyone, my name is Claire Lecoq. I'm part of the Open Innovation team at LVMH. So we have a great program called La Maison des Startups. It's a startup accelerator program based in Station F. And for the group, it's very important to listen to startup founders, inspiring startup founders, innovative solutions in order to test and learn your solutions with 75 brands of the group that we call the Maison. And so very proud to be here and to be back at the Grand Palais. The place is amazing. So thank you for being here.
Amazing indeed. Thank you very much. Off to you.
Hello everyone, I'm Christophe Pertuiseau. I'm heading the research, development and innovation for Moët Hennessy, covering all topics from how to make wine with grapes that are changing to the glass of the future and the bottle of the future and how to adapt the vineyards to climate change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Mathilde Boisseau. I'm a wine and vineyard director for Hennessy Maison, the leader of the cognac. And with my team, I'm in charge of developing agroecology in our vineyard and beyond. In fact, we work with 1,600 suppliers, and the objective is scale up the sustainable practices without compromise of quality while maintaining the highest quality. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, great to be here. My name is Michelle de Rijk and I work for the Fair Capital Impact Fund which is an early-stage evergreen impact fund based in Amsterdam. We focus on food, energy, and circularity. Good luck to the pitchers.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here. My name is Gaëtan Kerlock. I am the head of impact at 5 Seasons Ventures. We are an impact consumer VC fund. We invest mostly in food tech, but also home care, personal care, beauty. And today I'm very excited to be a jury member, looking forward to hear the pitches. We invest mostly in Series A, but we can do seed, Series B. We invest in Europe, so if you have a startup, I'm here all day. Please come to me afterwards.
Quite the offer. I'm sure some people will take you up on it. Last one in the jury.
Hi everyone, my name is Guillaume. I'm based from Brussels. We are a family fund, 100 million euro in size, and we mostly invest in agri-tech and food tech. We start with tickets of around 3 to 5 million euro. So typically Series A and Series B rounds. It's an evergreen fund, and also quite happy to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. And without further ado, let's kick it off with the first speaker, and that would be Anthony from Axioma Biologicals. Your time to shine, and a full house.
Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Buja. I am the CEO of Axioma Biologicals, a pioneer in the development of new sustainable inputs for crop resilience. And I'm very happy to be here because I think we have the same and common challenges to face with climate change. No, that works. Okay, that's good. Last one, please. Just before the second slide, please. One more. Yeah, okay, perfect. You know what it is. This is a cornfield impacted by severe drought. The soil is cracked, and the plants no longer produce and focus on their survival. This is what climate change looks like in agriculture. The next slide, please. It's 50%. 50% is the number of the impact of the climate change, of the yield and quality losses in agriculture. And every agricultural countries are affected. So this is not only a question of loss of income for farmers, but this is also a very big challenge for food sovereignty. Next, please. At Axioma, we spent 12 years searching for an answer, and we have developed different partnerships, scientific partnerships with university, with laboratories, and we made a lot of trials with cooperatives and industrial just to find some solution. And we succeed in a new way to produce bio inputs by combining some plant extracts. And we have hundreds of plant extracts, and we are very interested in biosource active ingredient that we can combine and make a cocktail effect. And we can design every type of products with every type of crops and issues. For example, we have some customers in Australia. Next one, please. Okay. We have some customers in Australia with a subsidiary there, and we can focus on wheat because we have a lot of issues about drought, and we can improve their yield and quality. In 2025, Axioma turns trust into growth because in agriculture it's absolutely impossible to disrupt. You need trust to shift practices. And we tick all the boxes from innovation to industrial. We have our own factories with 5 million liters capacity. And now we are ready to launch the commercial phase. Still not. Next slide, please. Perfect. Okay, this map, it's a global map, you know. We have some partnerships in Europe, of course, but we expand our activities in the US, in Brazil, and in Australia. This is a very important subject because every country is affected, and we have gathered more than 1 million data points in the laboratories and in the field. So we are the last one, please. Perfect. So now we are writing some of the most exciting chapters of our story with farmers for the future of agriculture, and we are changing it now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anthony. Next up is Christian from BioPlanet. Christian, can we have you here on stage? Yeah? Time is running.
Ensuring access to healthy food for all isn't a privilege. It is a human right. And to get there, we need to rethink the way we produce and deliver our food. And that is the main reason why we were here today. And definitely we can by joining hand. Globally, it is about 2 billion hectares of degraded land, affecting negatively over 3 billion people. In West Africa, when we talk about land degradation today, it is more than an urgent issue, as it affects over 100 million hectares of land. And the Benin Republic is one of these West African countries suffering from land degradation. But we have an unforgettable fact. Our generation sees opportunity in every single challenge our communities are facing. And the PLANET TMC Ltd is more than delighted to come up with an innovative solution. We transform biodegradable waste into a pest control granulated organic fertilizer in 50 kilogram bags to restore degraded farmland and increase healthier crop yields to combat food insecurity in Benin and Africa. The global fertilizer market is growing with over 200 billion USD annually, 2 billion in West Africa, and over 100 million USD in Benin Republic. And our fertilizer is very unique in that market, in granules and also holding anti-parasitic properties crucial to reduce pest attack on plants. Our product is distributed directly to farmers in 50 kilogram bags with 40% as profit margin. Till date, we recycled over 200 tons of biodegradable waste, distributed more than 50 tons of organic fertilizer to more than 400 women farmers, reaching 10,000 USD in revenue. It is then an opportunity to increase our production capacity to reach more women farmers in need. To get there, we are only asking for 100,000 USD in funding to purchase suitable equipment and elevate our business to new heights. These funds will help us produce and distribute over 60,000 tons of organic fertilizer by 2030 to reach 1.2 million USD in income. We have an amazing team with strong background in agriculture, environmental sustainability, public health, and finance. And we warmly welcome you for sustainable collaboration to restore over 100,000 hectares of farmland across West Africa by 2030. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and right on time. That was perfect. Next up is Valerie from Clic Recycle. Your time to shine.
Hi, I'm Viride. Do you ever plant a tree or a grape stock? There is something that is magical. In Clic Recycle, we believe in this magic, but with science, technology, and proof. Everything needs to have a solution. By 2050, we need to feed more than 8.9 billion people in the planet. Land, seas are overused, contaminated, full of microplastic. There is no place for plastic in our planet. So we need to find a new solution. And we find one. We make with waste, air, and also with fiber and hemp. What we did, it's a circular impact flow. In order to have all the flow done, we have a licensed waste management company, so we can do it. And after we can take it with putting technology. What we succeed is to put a LCA. The LCA was not my LCA, but LCA is done by 2 experts of the EU, revise it, and it's with the ISO of 14044, which is very important. We make Clic. Clic is a mulch that is done by hair and hemp, how was I saying. We all succeed to get all the data to know exactly what we are removing as CO2, because it's a carbon taken by the hemp and also is very good for the degradation. We use, I was saying, technology. We use sensors, we use IoT platform, and with this we can give a very certificate credit carbon in order to get a very perfect way to demonstrate what we are saying. We are using also IoT platform and API with the mobile. Today we have a different way of getting some fees. We're getting by the hairdresser, we have a fee, that's the first one. Second, we are selling our mulch. Now we already have clients like Ramona in Catalonia or Torres in the Winhard. We also sell with the technology and make a licensing of what we are doing today. Tomorrow we will want to give back the money also to the farmer with credit carbon. The only way that they are changing plastic to go to a regenerative solution. Yet today we are EBITDA positive as a lean concept. This means that we are just starting to make some money without spending a lot of one. We are starting to, we get like 3 grants, and we are for the first time raising money in order to get a next one at $500,000 in 2029. We have competition, as everyone in the world. We will say that we are advancing because we really believe in technology and in science. Not just make a product for making a product, but demonstrate what you are saying. And more when we are speaking about regeneration of the floor. Because it's easy sometimes to say things, but you need to prove it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Valerie. Thank you very much. And next up is Sina from Koralo. Your 3 minutes are starting now. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Oh. Perfect. Thank you. So I'm Sina from Koralo. And if you believe that food should contribute to your well-being, beauty, and health, please raise your hand. Oh, okay. Well, you're not alone. Actually, 75% of consumers name this as one of their key purchasing decisions. And that's exactly what we're doing at Koralo. We have an ingredient with proven health benefits. Preclinical studies show that Koralo outperforms the current market leader in immune boosting, in gut health, and in inflammation healing. And we have applications in growing markets, whether that's as a functional ingredient for functional beverages, for example, as a finished product in fish-free seafood, or as a feed supplement. We use 2 superfoods, microalgae and mushroom mycelium, and we combine them in a co-fermentation process. From this, we get our 3 finished products. We've 1 granted patent on this technology, with 2 pending in texturization and the feed supplement, in over 51 countries. We have 9 million in global offtake agreements with customers loving our product as a fish-free seafood or as a functional ingredient. And these are some of the comments we've received from major partners. We're 3 times cheaper than seafood with a 68% gross margin. And we fully scaled our production in both Europe as well as in South Korea. And we're one of only 5 companies in the fermentation space to have done so. We've also done it in the cheapest way possible by using existing OEM equipment and achieving better yields as well as having 3 product applications. The team that has managed to pull this off is quite a global one between entrepreneurs, marketeers, and scientists. We're based in Korea, the US, and Germany. And we'd like you to join our wave, whether as partners, as customers, or as investors, as we are looking to expand now into the US market, and we're looking for a 4 million seed round closing this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wonderfully to the point and clear, with a call to action at the end. That's great. And next up is Jean-Michel from Novobiom.
Good morning, everybody. So thank you. I'm Novobiom. I'm Jean-Michel, CEO from a co-founder of Novobiom. Did you know that it takes about 1,000 years to build up 1 centimeter of soil? So soil is one of our most critical non-renewable resources on Earth. And they're facing a lot of different challenges. And I'm not going to go through to all the challenges, but just pinpoint and focus on one, which is soil pollution. In Europe, we have about 2.8 million sites that are contaminated. 600,000 of them have been identified as representing an environmental and health risk and needing an intervention, but barely 15% of them have been treated so far. And why? Because it's a complex issue and a costly issue. So what we do at Novobiom, we take inspiration how nature works. And I'd like to say that we work with nature most skilled expert in recycling and in chemistry, the fungi, when we leverage their potential actually to reduce and to degrade the most complex compounds that they can find on Earth. But we're not stopping there. Is that it would be misleading to say that fungi can solve everything. We work on a soil microbiome. We use advanced digital tools where we build digital models of the bioremediation, modelizing how microorganisms can actually degrade complex compounds. And then to do that, why we're doing that is that we want to be able to provide a tailored solution to each soil specificities, reducing the complexity to working with nature-based solutions and to ease the process. It's like, I always said, it's like holistic medicine. What we do a diagnostic. We also provide the right cure for the right problem by providing the right mix of microorganisms that are adapted for the soil remediation process. This enables us to drastically reduce the remediation cost by over 50%, but also drastically reduce the carbon footprint linked to that. Oops, this way around. We have demonstrated the effectiveness of the process at different scales on different families of contaminants. We are currently now moving towards commercialization with the first large-scale industrial project undergoing. In addition to that, we don't stop there, so we also have now extending the modelization, the platform, to integrate the plants within our models, but also then to make the link between soil remediation and carbon sequestration, offering new possibilities and new business models within the soil remediation sector, where we combine, I would say, agroforestry practices and phytostabilization or phytoextraction of heavy metals. We just planted 3,000 trees in Belgium here in January, and we integrated there to the, with a technological platform to generate carbon credit links to these activities. We're doing way more than just that at Novobiom. We have a lot of different activities into how we valorize the potential of fungi for environmental applications. So if you want to learn more, we have a booth there, so just come by. I'll be happy to explain you. And if you have any questions, I will be there in the session. So thank you.
Thank you. And you can stay right with me. Yeah. Please stay with me. I'd love to ask all the pitches back up on stage for just a quick 5 to 6 minutes Q&A. Maybe line up to my left and to my right. And whoever has the first question, please go ahead.
I'll start with a question to Sina, Koralo. I saw that you have preclinicals only on the data. So do you have plans to dig more into this and run, that's the first part of the question, run more data, more experiments? And do you have also part of your strategy to approach the large groups like Danone and Nestle and others to see if they would be interested?
Yeah, no, great question. So to answer your first one on the data and more collection, so we are now starting clinical trials. We have one starting in May on fish. So it's a fish feeding trial where we're currently validating more of that data that we got from the preclinical studies. And we're also doing tests together with universities on actual human studies, so clinical human studies, basically all around the microbiome and focusing on general health and well-being. So that's the data collection side on the functional ingredients. And yes, on the CPG side, we are currently in partnerships with some of the large CPG companies. We're working together with the largest milk manufacturer in Germany and the largest CPG in Korea on the functional beverage side. We are looking to partner as well with a Nestle or a Danone. So we need to see what applications they would be looking for. But yes, happy to talk more and approach those partnerships.
Thank you so much. Next question.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I have a question for Valerie. Thanks for your presentation.
Thank you.
My question is, what is actually your core business and who are your clients? Are you a platform? Do you develop the products? What is it that you exactly, which role do you take?
Okay, so we are the full system. We are regulating the fiber. We are manufacturing and we are selling the products that we are doing. And we have our own technology also, because the team has 2% that are 25 years of technology in the ground. So I will say we have the full cycle. Thank you.
Wonderful. Next question, please.
Yes, I have a question from Axiom. For wine and vine industry, what is the kind of the active ingredients, and what are the sourcing of this kind of active ingredients?
We use maybe 400 active ingredients, so that's all derived from plant extracts. We use also seaweeds, but our technology is to be able to combine all these active ingredients. That's something very important because we can design one product, one crop, and for vine, for example, we use a lot of antioxidants because it's very important to have a plant and a crop with a very low level of stress. So the point is to be able to have a lot of data to obtain some marketing approvals. That's something very important because in agriculture you cannot use whatever type of product in agriculture. You need AMM, like for pharmaceutical aspect. So it's very important to show the efficiency and the inequity.
Thank you. Wonderful. Any more questions? Yes?
Yeah, I actually have the same question for Novobiom, BioPlanet, and Axioma. Imagine you're not speaking to an agronomist, not speaking to an investor, but a 5-year-old child. What would be the main use case? Who would use a product? For what? Who will pay for it? What's the main goal?
Starting for me, so I have to explain it to my own children. What I'm telling them is that I'm helping companies that actually provide remediation services that clean up a toxic soil in finding a natural way of doing so and taking the complexity. I will give them what they need, say that this is the right strategy, and I will give you what you need, and selling that to them.
Thank you. Next question.
Yeah, I had another question for...
part of the question for me, I think.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, and next one. For me, the user is the farmer, but our customer is mainly big groups like Bayer, Syngenta, and others. We can work directly for corporate farmers in big countries, such as Brazil and Australia. And the promise is to be able to secure the yield and to save money and food. That's the key point for us.
Yes, the main goal for the next 5 years, the main goal for the next 5 years is to be able to produce and distribute over 60,000 tons of organic fertilizer to reach more than 1 million women farmers across West Africa. And then we will be able to reach at least 1.2 million USD in revenue. That will also be the opportunity to create more than 2,000 green job opportunity for youth, 80% being for women and indigenous people.
Yes. Another question for you, Anthony. Can you elaborate on where you stand in your commercial maturity? Because I understand there's really proofs in terms of science and the yield improvement ROI. But where do you stand in the commercial for this product?
Yeah, we have two business models. One for Europe by partnering with big companies because the distribution part is very tough in France and in Europe. But we can work directly with farmer or local distributors in some countries like the US, South Africa, and others. So yes, we tick all the boxes from the innovation to industry, and now the commercial launch is very important. We are raising funds, 20 million euros by this summer. The goal for us is to strengthen the commercial team because today we are around 35%. But only scientists. And now we are trying to hire some people in the commercial team just to improve our capacity to develop the product everywhere in the world.
Thanks.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, put your hands together for these wonderful first 5 speakers, please. We are going to continue right away with the next round of speakers. You can, and that would be Sanne from Raddis Foundation. Your 3 minutes are up now. Thank you for being with us.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Sanne van den Dungen. I'm co-founder of Raddis. Raddis stands for radically disruptive, but in a very positive way. So, two farmers, one in India, one in Turkey. So what do these farmers have in common, besides standing in their cotton field with a big smile? So behind these smiles, these farmers are having enormous worries. Will the middleman pay for their cotton? What is happening to the soil, turning into dust? Why are these fields becoming so silent with the lack of biodiversity? What about their health with the use of toxic pesticides? And we all know these problems. So we know that we are losing fertile topsoil at an alarming rate. We know that we are using up fresh water, and then we are polluting that again with pesticides. And we also know that we have farmers in vicious circles of debt that cannot get out of it. At the end, everybody is losing. What if cotton can be the solution instead of the problem? And that's what we, of course, believe in. So what if we can sequester carbon in the soil by regenerative farming? What if we can increase the above ground and below ground biodiversity? What if we can create food and fiber landscapes where cotton is grown together with all kinds of other crops in symbiotic relationships, where we have additional income to farmers, but where we also have security of household nutrition? All of this is possible, and we know this because we have been doing this for the last 7 years. We are supplying lint, yarn, fabrics, finished garments. We are working together with all kinds of different brand partners, knowledge partners, creating new value networks. And we know this is possible because we have been growing from 42 farmers to 33,000 farmer families as of today. We have really big goals. We have big dreams. So we want to grow further. We want to scale our impact. And we feel that with the help of you, this is possible. We're not only doing this in India, but we're also expanding into Turkey and even beyond Turkey. We are looking at 1.8 million euros in working capital and around 160,000 euros in grants for Turkey farm program. So thank you so much for having me and having us. We have our booth as well. And thank you so much. Yeah, finished.
You're allowed to clap. Thank you very much. You can pass that on. Okay, that was Sanne from Raddis Foundation. And next up is Benjamin from Sand to Green. Your 3 minutes are starting now.
Hi everyone. My name is Ben. I'm really happy today to introduce you to Sand to Green, a French-Moroccan startup created in 2022 that is scaling region ag. I'm sure you're already aware that climate change put agri-food and cosmetics supply chain at risk. But do you know that over the last 3 decades, we lost almost $4 trillion because of climate events, and that the risk of crop failure is going to be 25 higher by 2050, according to the IPCC. But don't worry, we know the solution. Scientists and companies agree on the fact that region ag is not only there to bring resilience, but also to decarbonize supply chain. However, those investments need to be scaled and de-risked. How to tailor investments to its environment. Region ag needs to be tailored to environment. This is not standardized methods. How to adapt projects to the resilience over time. The climate of yesterday and the climate of today is not going to be the climate of tomorrow. And how to monitor practices and project management. This is why at Sand to Green, we are blending agronomy and tech to bring data-driven diligence, predictions, and transparency. First step, doing a diagnosis of your site. Like Before going to the doctor, you do like a blood test. We gather a lot of different data regarding the soil. What is the pH, cation exchange, pelt density, and so on. What is the topography of your field? Do you have some slope to do water harvesting? What is the pedoclimatic condition of today and tomorrow? And then, using this analysis, we automatize some recommendations. So our algorithm will compare the site with all the different species of the FAO database to say, okay, so this one is feeding well today, but also tomorrow. And we're gonna recommend some symbiosis to say, you can work with this species and this one because there is symbiosis together. We can also tell you, okay, so you have a lot of sense, so you should put more biochar to structure and do some hydro retention. We are able to model the project and see what is the profitability over time. But we are also developing a new brick, MRV, so we can gather a lot of data to improve our model and do some machine learning. We've developed carbon models, water models, financial models, but also using all those data to automatize carbon certification and bring this revenue to even the smallest holder farmer. We are backed by scientific expertise. We have scientists within the team, and we're working with the best scientist institute in the world. We are also agronomists working in field. Here are some projects that we've realized for our clients. Pretty amazing, the result, right? And finally, we are backed by world-approved satellite and FAO data and accelerated by Google. Thank you.
Well, right on the gong. Right on the gong, very well. Thank you. That was Benjamin with Sand to Green. And next up is Stefan from Viride. Stage is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Stefan and I'm the co-founder of Viride. Today I want to excite you about microalgae. What's microalgae? Well, it's these little microorganisms that live in seawater, and you can create powders out of it. They are very colorful, and you can extract beautiful extracts such as omega-3, colors, vitamins such as vitamin A. Why is this important? Because, as you all know, that's why we're here. Soils are going down, climate change is hitting agriculture hard. So when we're thinking about solutions like the ones we're discussing here, maybe algae can be the new crop, a crop that helps us to mitigate all the effects. We have the solution, and our solution for microalgae is microalgae in the desert. So we want to scale along global coastlines, especially in Africa, especially where these additional foods are going to be needed, and we grow them in salt water, in deserts, for sustainable food, for natural food, and with a positive impact, because we don't need additional CO2 that we bubble in, but we just take the CO2 from the atmosphere. We have the proven skills to do that. We've been doing it in Morocco already. We're building sites from scratch. We gathered a bunch of proprietary technology, use European technology to filter, and have the high product quality that's necessary to enter these markets. What are we doing now? We're scaling up. 1 hectare site is being built, or has been built, has been running for 3 years, and now Series A is about building a 25-hectare microalgae production in the desert, and that is only going to be the first step to becoming even bigger. Needless to say, the markets are huge. We want to attack especially omega-3 markets and the carotene markets, because our microalgae grown in seawater is especially suitable for these, well, you can't even call them niches, before we then enter especially the protein market. Our business model is B2B. We don't imagine to be a B2C distributor, but really make algae an ingredient at scale. And we have an experienced team on site that is helping us every day making this better, bigger and better. We're raising Series A at the moment. We're looking for investors, but we're also looking for partners in this field. Talk to us, and we're happy to discuss this new crop. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. That was Stefan from Viride, and next up is Theo from Yield Computer.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Theo Saats, the CEO of Yield Computer. According to the UN, we need to double food production by 2050 compared to 2010. But knowing that, it's quite amazing that as of today, 30% of all soft fruits that are produced never reach the customer. So what is going on over here? Because typically we always look at waste, we look at the consumer end of waste. But in agriculture, especially in the soft fruit industry, on the production side, 30% of all the produced produce never reaches the retail. So out of 100 kilogram produced, only 70 kilo reaches the retail. What causes that so much of the produce never reaches the retailer? That is due to the very perishable nature of soft fruits. So typically you grow food and you like potatoes and you sell it whenever somebody wants potatoes. But to the perishable nature of soft fruits, you pick the fruits and it needs to be in the retail at the moment it is picked. And this is very, very challenging. So you're continuously working with the yield predictions for labor, for logistics, for the settlement of contracts. And growers typically make huge mistakes. And they're always on the bad side of the track. Because if they predict too little, they end up with too much produce and they cannot sell it to the retail. And when they predict too much, they don't have enough and they have to pay big penalties to the retail. And this is where our solution comes in. Crop IQ is a solution built out of multiple components. One is our smart crop cam, which is a camera that is placed inside of the fields and is really gathering all sides of information from the plant. So it counts the amount of berries, it does the phenotyping of the berries, it collects the weather data, it also stores production data, average fruit mass, and all that information is sent to an online platform. And over there we gather all this information and bring it to usable insights for the grower that he can really make better predictions. Next that we collect all this data, but each time that we collect such a cycle, we get a data set from a harvest. And in the end, we have a lot of data sets from which we can train AI models to have really automatic predictions. Where are we right now? We started with this in the Netherlands. At this moment, we have a huge customer in the Netherlands, Spain, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Theo, from Yield Computer, and there will be ample time for question and answers after and in the networking area. Ninja Freddy from Zipli. Yes, please.
You almost got it right.
Almost, yeah. I'm trying. Thank you.
Every single day, tens of millions of perfectly good meals are wasted in restaurants all across Europe. And at the same time, 37 million people in the EU cannot afford quality meals. This is not okay, and that's why we're zipping up this gap by turning every excess meal into an opportunity for impact. My name is Ninja Freddy, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zipli. So over 1/3 of all food produced ends up as waste. That's a 140 billion problem in Europe alone. And this is a big deal, not just for restaurants, but for cities, because of the huge social, economic, and environmental costs. So if we would rescue just 1% of the excess surplus meals from restaurants here in Paris, that would bring already €500,000 savings every month. So imagine you're a restaurant manager. You've staffed your kitchen, you've prepared delicious meals, but at the end of service, several kilos of untouched food are left behind. You know this food is still good, but there's no quick or safe way to redirect it. But in a pilot in Helsinki, now restaurants have been donating over 10,000 meals every month of buffet food. And this has been a huge success, and now more restaurants and more community members want in. But the current manual system, it has reached its full capacity and cannot scale. This is where Zipli comes in. So cities use our platform to monitor food flows and implement concrete actions to achieve their climate and food waste reduction goals. And then restaurants use our mobile app to quickly list containers of food and find a match for those from community members such as Food Aid or community kitchens. And we take care of food safety, we coordinate logistics, and track impact all in one place. So this is how it works. Food providers snap a photo, add a few details, and Zipli matches that with suitable receivers. A pickup happens, meals are served, and impact data is collected. So who pays for Zipli? We have different licensing models for different kind of users and customer groups and their needs. So for cities, we offer yearly licensing packages, and for restaurant chains, we offer monthly subscription packages. We're backed by EU Horizon funding and are currently piloting in Finland, and we're now raising 500,000 euros to scale to 3 to 5 more cities. So if you're looking for a high impact, high potential venture in food tech, come and talk to us. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. And you can stay with me. Thank you, Ninia. That was wonderful. And I would love to ask the other 4 speakers to come join me on stage, maybe on my left and on my right. And just like last time, we're going to have about 5 to 6 minutes for questions and answers. Okay, who wants to go first? Yes, please.
I have a question for Ninia. Yeah. How do you manage the fact that a restaurant can close at 10 p.m., the kitchen, and then you have to deliver a product to a community? Because sometimes the product is still valid for only for 5 hours or 6 hours. Do you manage? Yes. How do you manage this very quick time?
Especially with this warm food, the time window is very short. So in the pilot in Helsinki, we have had these cool down fridges. So if the restaurant has this and can cool it down, then the meal can be picked up the next day. So that's been the operational model. And of course, we're looking into possibilities how to have these cool down fridges, for example, in the delivery cars as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. Next question.
A question for Stefan. So you're producing microalgae probably at some high cost, I would suspect, especially since your markets are mostly going to be Europe and the US for this kind of ingredients. What's the competitive edge that you bring versus existing solutions?
Yes, so I think to produce microalgae, you have to produce below 10 euros per kilo. You have to reach 5, maybe perhaps at some point 3 euros per kilo. So our cutting edge is you can either become fancy in terms of photobioreactors, you can ferment, or you can take out all the other costs, and that's why we are in the desert. We have very stable temperatures, we have salt water, we have sun, we have no CO2, so we reduce all the costs that come into production while doing it smart, so we have nice productivity still, which gets us down to 11 euros per Dunajela and 7 euros for EPA at the moment, and I guess we'll become more efficient in the future. So cutting out the costs.
Wonderful. Yeah?
Yeah, I have a question for Theo, Youth Computer. Who are your main competitors and what makes you unique, or what's your competitive advantage in your technology?
There are some competitors right now. That's one from Australia. We have a competitor from Germany. The main competitive edge is that we've done this the longest. So we started 5 years ago, and if you wanted to do predictions, the only thing you need is data and lots of data. So having said that, that's the main competitive edge. On the other hand, we really specialize in all cultivation types. So it's the high-tech, the greenhouses, but it's also the mid-tech and the low-tech, where other companies really tend to specialize in the high-tech environments, but most of the fruits is still outdoor fields. So that, I think, are the main competitive edges for us.
Maybe another question for you. Can you talk a bit about the ROI for the farmers? Like how much does it cost upfront and how much savings do they get?
Yeah. We have quite an easy model. It's 50 euros per acre for the easiest module we have, and the second, and 100 for the more experienced model. But typically, you get a multiple of 2. So if you invest €1 in our technology, it gives you €2 in return.
Maybe a question for Raddis. If I go to a Hugo Boss shop and I buy organic suits, I understand it. If I buy a suit that is Raddis branded, how do I understand it? And if I don't, why would Hugo Boss pay more for the cotton?
That's a great question. So indeed, if you look at, we work with multiple brand partners, but of course also Hugo Boss. So they would have their own strategy of going towards 100% regenerative cotton by 2030. Whether or not they display that on the hang tag, they would have that strategy behind it. And of course, it's also a smart strategy. So let's say working with us, you get allocated acres. The longer you are partner with us, you would know exactly these farmers, these villages, these acres, my cotton is coming from. So you get a grip on the supply chain. You can secure your own regenerative cotton in their already target for regenerative cotton. They have done the on-tag branding until now, but maybe in the future they don't do that anymore, but at least behind it they have their strategy of where they wish to be. Yeah, and we luckily see that with other brands as well. And that also has to do indeed with securing their resources, securing their supply chain. Yeah. Thank you.
We would have time for 1 or 2 more, if there is any.
Yeah, I have a question for Green. Who are your main clients? And why would they want to work with your solution?
Yeah, so our main clients are a food company producing different type of goods and that want to transition from conventional agriculture to regenerative farming. And we also identify that those big corporates, Danone, Nestle, that want to do this transition, that have taken a lot of commitments, are asking like agency to help them to transition. And the main obstacle of this transition is like those agencies help to transition 5, 10, 15 farmers. But when it came to scalability, to scale the whole supply chain, they have obstacle because what they've been doing like one farmer at a time cannot be scaled. So our main clients are not only those food companies that want ESG reports through the MRV brick, but also agencies that working directly with those firms that can analyze and model the regenerative farming way more quicker than doing manually and going on site every day.
Wonderful. Last one?
Maybe last one for Raddis. How do you manage with the farmers the transitioning time for their field? Do they have to secure or to finance the time for transitioning from this crop to cotton production?
Yeah, that's also a really good question. So we specifically work with farmers who have already been used to grow cotton, but they're growing cotton in a conventional way. And then immediately from the first year, we are organizing the connection to the market and also the premium. And we are also organizing the multi-crop model. So farmers will receive also the non-GMO cotton seeds and the intercrop seeds and even the kitchen garden seeds. So that whole transition is being guided also with our field team by trainings, but also making sure that there is immediate offtake for these farmers. So indeed we are farmer-centric, so we want them to have as little risk as possible. Of course, there's always some risk, but at least to reduce it as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Please put your hands together for these wonderful 5 individuals and the one that came before them. There's 3 last quick things. Number 1, the jury will be asked to vote for their favorite presentation called the coup de coeur. You will get some papers here to do that. Number 2, the pitches and the jury will have a chance to continue the conversation in the networking area. And number 3, right in 4 minutes at 12 p.m. we're going to start the next round of pitches, this time on the topic of ocean and water. So stay tuned, stay here. If this topic interests you, we're going to kick off in just 3 or 4 minutes. Thank you again so much.